Hi, you're watching Kerry Lyons of The Imperfect Life, and I am here to help you create the life that you want whilst also living the messy adventure of creating it. And guys, I am here today with the gorgeous Marlena Burton from Still Here, Still Sexy, right? That's what it's called,
Yes.
Still Here, Still Sexy. And she is
Still
one
here, still
hell of
sexy.
an inspiring goddess, let me tell you. Welcome, lovely Marlena. Yay! Tell everyone about who you are, what you do, all that jazz. Let people know you.
Oh, Carrie Lyons, thank you for creating this safe space in which imperfect people can share their stories and their journeys because I am the epitome of that, of
Oh.
your imperfectionista. So thank you. I'm just a regular gal, and my lot in life is to get cancer. I had cancer when I was 14 years old, and again when I was 32. And I guess so. That's the reason I'm mentioning that is because it's a huge part of my life and my story.
Sure.
This time around, it inspired me to start a brand, to build a brand, and to bring to market a product that had been in my mind for quite some time. So, yeah.
Amazing. So the brand is Still Here, Still Sexy. Do you want to tell people a bit what that is in terms of like the ethos behind it, the actual product itself, that kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah. So, so the product itself, it's basically a temporary tattoo bra, and it's hard to not hard to explain. Let me start over. So, it's a temporary tattoo bra, and this was inspired after my double radical mastectomy, in which I lost both breasts. All of my breast tissue was removed, and all of the lymph nodes on the right side. So after this, I was left with, and I did opt for a reconstruction. So I do have some implants. So I look like a Barbie doll, two mounds, and that's it. And one big seam going across with a
Right.
surgical scar. So I do have a website. It's www.stillherestillsexy.com. And I have my story posted there. So you can read about my inspiration a little more in depth. But essentially, a couple of situations I was in where I was in a changing room. As I was becoming more comfortable with my disfigured body, I realized that other people weren't, and so I just craved a way to kind of disguise my scars in a way that I didn't always have to explain to people why they were there. I didn't have to be yanked back into my body and have to tell the cancer story all the time,
Sure.
because I don't want that to define me. I just want to move on with my life. So initially, I didn't reinvent the wheel. Temporary tattoos exist on the market. So what I did was I researched that technology, the printing technology, a little bit, and I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could improve on that printing technology just a little bit, and then marry it to this really creative artwork that we can try out, so we don't have to commit to like permanent ink. We could still be open to options, because technology is incredible, and who knows, 10 years from now, there might be an option for a nipple reconstruction, and I want to be open to that. I want to be available to that. So I don't want to permanently alter my chest area yet. So that was the beginning of the concept. That's what inspired the temporary tattoo bra. And so initially I created it just as a solution for myself, and I thought it would be kind of cool for some of my friends. I never intended for this to be a big company or a big brand or anything like that. But when I started telling people about it, people responded. They
Sure.
said, amazing. And watching the energy of women that I'd share my story with and say, hey, try this on and tell me how you feel. And just watching them transform and feel beautiful again in their own skin, in their own bodies.
Yeah.
That spoke to me, and I said, I'm onto something. I need to make this available to more people, more women. And so, yeah, here I am.
Amazing. And when did you launch the website? Because it was only quite recently, right?
Oh gosh, yeah, that is a really good story in itself. So uh, I actually came up with this slogan, "Still here, still sexy," because it's kind of a little mantra that I made for myself to feel good when I really wasn't feeling my most attractive. You know, I was
Sure.
bald and gaunt and kind of like just really sick, anemic, and I didn't even recognize myself in the mirror. And one time I was looking in the mirror and I didn't even recognize my reflection. I thought there was an intruder in the house. And uh, uh, sorry, I got just. Yeah. And so I remember thinking, just one step at a time, one step at a time, brush your teeth, wash your face, just go through the motions and you'll start to feel okay today and go on about your day. And so I turned up the radio because I really like music in my life. And in the background was Justin Timberlake's "I'm Bringing Sexy Back." And
Love
I
it.
remember I guffawed. And I said, "Oh, yeah, good one, universe. Thank you." So I put on my wig and I drew on some eyebrows.
Amazing.
And I started to tell myself this throughout the day just to make myself kind of chuckle and feel good. And like, I'm bringing sexy back. And so it slowly evolved into this mantra: I'm still here, still sexy, you know, and saying it with a little bit of sass. And so one day I just decided, hey, that's kind of a cool slogan. I'm gonna trademark that and just put it away for a little while and see, you know, if I do something with it later. And so that sat there for a little while. And then when, you know, I came up with the temporary tattoo bra, people responded to it and I started doing some market research and I said, oh, you know, this I might be onto something here. So then I brought them together and this all just kind of came together. So in that process, I'm getting back to my point. I became a little bit of a self-help junkie, right? Because I didn't know anything about business really and starting a business. So I started to subscribe to Marie Forleo, who is a brilliant business coach, and you know, just like Tony Robbins, and so I started to have all of the junk mail and my inbox was full with self-help guru stuff. And and then I thought, you know, I'm actually just doing this to distract myself from actually getting something done. So one day I was just inspired. I said, you know, I'm just going to shoot off an email to Marie TV because I saw that they had a call-in show. And I said, you know, I'm stuck. I know I have all of these cool things in place and I want to do this. At that time, I had already had the website and a lot of really good content, but I didn't want to hit push. I didn't want to push go yet. I was like, no, because when I push go, then I can't go back.
You can't go back. Exactly. Yeah. You got to leap at some point.
Yeah, exactly. I liked that space. I was getting a little too comfortable in that space of let's just have a lot of cool ideas and live life. Yeah. So anyway, I shot off that email to Marie Forleo, and the one day that I didn't check my email, they respond and they said, we're going to call you today. So I think I was out grocery shopping and I'm in my car and she calls me. And the first thing I said, I think they edited it out, but she said, hi, this is Marie TV. I was like, are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious?
I think that's what I would say if Marie Forleo gave me a buzz on the old mobile. That's insane.
What's that?
I think I would react in that way if I suddenly like got my mobile and I was like, Marie? Mama?
It had been weeks. That's so funny. So anyway, during that, and that is on her website, Marie TV, live call-in shows. And so during that phone call, I told her my story and she essentially told me, go home and hit the go button. And then I'm going to share your story with all of my followers. And I thought, well, why the heck not? Let's take this opportunity. So we do that during the live call-in show. And from there, this is just gaining momentum. And it's really inspiring because people have written into me and saying, you know, not only has your personal story about your battle with cancer inspired me, but the entrepreneurial side is very inspiring. So I think, okay, I'm going to keep doing this and I'll share my imperfect story, you know, and just in the hope that it's going to inspire other people. If you have a passion project, you know, go ahead, take that leap, do it.
100%. And thank you so much for, I mean, I don't even know where to start, but for what you're doing, not just for, like you say, people that are living with cancer, living with the after effects of cancer, or any kind of body disfigurement in that kind of way, is huge. But the inspiration and the message that you're giving of just like, you are still here, no matter what you've endured, right? The fact that you're seeing this website, listening to this conversation, whatever, it means you're still here. There's still possibility. You can still like create the life that you want. Right. And to see someone that's had the kind of adversity and the challenges that you've had to do what you've been doing with such like kind of courage and kind of like selflessness, really, because it is about, you felt that pull to give to more people. More people needed what you can provide. Right. Is like amazing. So thank you, Marlena. You're the bomb. Really, really, really the bomb. And right, so this is probably gonna air in like the summer of 2019. Just trying to think of the month. It might be June or July, and this is recorded in the beginning of May 2019. And as far as I know, the site has only been live for like a matter of weeks. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, 4 weeks now.
Are at least 2 stalls sold out already?
Yes. Isn't that wonderful?
Mic drop. That's amazing. Truly amazing. I'm absolutely delighted for you.
What's even cooler, though, is that I'm being contacted by artists, and they're volunteering to do one-of-a-kind pieces. So there's a lot of exciting things coming, and just more options. Hopefully, my goal is to have pages and pages and pages of options, so women can go through, check them, and then eventually a place where you can actually do a personal design and just upload it, and we'll print it and ship it off to you. So.
Amazing. Oh my God, that's amazing. And all that was being kept from the world because you weren't pressing push on that button. So anyone that's watching this that is in that zone of, you can make a massive, massive difference, even if it's like a small selection of people's lives, you're depriving them of that by keeping it to yourself.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So just going back a bit, tell me about the Marlena before you started doing what you're doing, and obviously what brought you to that point of kind of saying, no more, okay, something's got to change. I need to move forward with this idea. I need to kind of do something different.
Do something different.
As in from that point where you felt, what were you doing in your life before you had the idea for the kind of temporary tattoos and doing that? How was your life?
Oh, yeah.
In that kind of capacity.
So, sure, definitely. So this, I think the first. So I'm 32 years old now. And, I'm working on telling this story because it's still a raw, sensitive space. So to go from business mindset back to, ouch, that hurts still to talk about, so thank you for giving me a space in which to kind of work on flexing that muscle and build that resilience. Mm-hmm. So just kind of walking you through my thought process here. I was 32 years old, and when I was finished with my last round of chemo, so I think it was a total of 2 years this time. 2 years after all of the surgeries, all of the chemo was done. And I was then faced with the decision of whether I was going to go back to working full time, mm-hmm. or, what was life going to look like from that point on, now that I was well. And it's really just coming from a selfish place. I feel that cancer has robbed me of a lot of precious time in my life, mm-hmm. and I want to get that time back and live life on my terms. Mm-hmm. And what that looks like for me, because I have some friends who couldn't wait to get well, breast cancer sisters who were looking forward to that last day of chemo so they can just jump back into their lives and have their lives look the way they looked before cancer. Right. And I wanted to, because when I was diagnosed at 32, I was newly married and pregnant. My newborn son spent a lot of time with caregivers, and I wanted to get that time back. So it was really a selfish endeavor. I wanted to come up with a way to generate an income, but while being able to stay home. So I actually did, and I just want to throw this out there. I did try out some, there's a lot of women who do some really creative side hustles. I think there's the essential oil businesses and protein shakes and all sorts of things. And I'm just fascinated with business systems. And I like to invent products just for fun. I just like to invent businesses as a hobby. And talk about like what my ideal client would look like. And so I thought, instead of being really good at making money for someone else, I think I'm going to push my passion project forward and focus on that. So that's kind of the background. And
amazing. I'm really interested in the way that you termed it as a selfish kind of endeavor almost, when it's like, I personally wouldn't see that as selfish at all. I'd see that as like my priorities are now in order. So it's like, that's what it seems as to me. Like I wouldn't, from the outside looking in, I wouldn't see that as a selfish thing at all. I'd see it as like, that is the right thing to do. Really focus on how you want to construct your life from this point on now, which is really impressive. Because like I say, I think it's such a bold place to be at that time, to be in it. So I really respect you for doing that as well, because it's just, I don't think that many people do. And I think a lot of people will take inspiration from that as well. That
I certainly hope so.
100%. 100%, because you do have, everyone has that choice in their life when they don't see, all they see are responsibilities, and they see all the day-to-day, everyday stuff, whether they're experiencing illness or disease or anything, they let this everyday churn feel like they don't have a choice about those things.
Sure.
Forgetting that they can take a step back and realise absolutely everything in their life is a choice that they've made, which they can also unmake as well. And you're like, case in point of doing that. So this is just going to be like applause for Marlena. She's just like doing this thing, which is amazing. So, sorry, I'll let you speak.
Oh yeah, I just want to touch on that. So, spaces like this, though, and people like you, so I've characterized my endeavor as being a little bit of coming from a selfish place, but because that I wasn't bouncing these ideas off of other people. And so when I finally put myself out there and then I get that feedback, that's when I realized that, other people can benefit from this. And, like I said before, not only from one story, but from the entrepreneurial journey too. So just building a tribe, I just want to stress the importance of building that and being able to, motivate each other. And that's huge. It's so powerful, because once I embraced that and I stopped acting like I was an island, I was this autonomous singular thing. And I started to embrace this universe of other people, of the other like-minded people, that doors started to open up. And my mind starts to open up, and I start to receive and accept, like, oh, wow, all of these other, aspects that I didn't even consider.
Yeah.
So
it's like a whole new world. And,
absolutely.
Yeah. And the kind of almost the quickest and most authentic way to connect with your kind of tribe is what you're doing right now, isn't it? Being like completely vulnerable, being completely open about your vulnerability, the stuff that you find really, really hard to talk about because it's painful and it's real and it's raw. But that's how you connect with the people that feel the same.
Right.
If you're hiding behind the push button, if you're in that state of, I'm not quite ready yet, I'm nearly there, you're cutting off the kind of oxygen for people that need you as you are right now. They need you in that vulnerable state to be able to see themselves in you and to be able to relate to you and be inspired by you.
I see that now.
You're a good one, Marlena. This is awesome. So is there anything that you wish you would have known back then that you know now, and you can choose at whatever point the back then is, whether it's pre your kind of like second experience of cancer, pre your first experience of cancer, pre starting the business. Like, is there a point in life when you kind of think, if I could have just told myself at this point this nugget, what would that be?
That is a really good question, Carrie Lyons.
I love to use my full name. It's just like, just
Notice
one
my
word.
body language changed and my hands behind the hips. Oh, I wish I had a really good answer for that. I'm still working on that. Let's see. That it's okay to speak when even though your voice is cracking, like I am right now. It's okay to be vulnerable. I think I think back to when I was 14 and thinking about personal heroes and people I saw on TV that I thought that is the epitome of greatness. And those idols were always like very polished and poised and spoke so eloquently. And so I think that was a hindrance for me because I thought, I'm not there yet. So what I have to say isn't important until I can look more like that. Right. And, but here I am, and maybe there's a listener out there who's going to really benefit from this conversation that we're having. And how awesome is this?
Yeah, they will benefit. And can I say as well, the only way that person would ever get to a polished state of anything is from doing this bit of work where they're experiencing the voice cracking and they're learning the ropes of how to expand, right? Be expansive and grow themselves. That's the only route to get there. People aren't just like born at that point.
Some people are.
Yeah.
Right. But you're right. There is a journey. It is a process for everyone. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can just see you, like, imagine you in like a year, 2 years time, and you've got your own podcast, you've got your own YouTube channel, and you're like Janet Jackson mic'd up, and you're just like, just in the zone. I could totally see it.
And then let's revisit this conversation. I would love to do and just talk about how things have changed and how life is so different, because
yes, let's do that.
It fascinates me how much progress people make in the spans of 1 year.
Yeah, no, me too. Actually, me too.
It is, of 1 year.
Yeah, it's amazing. And what I want to ask as well, what would you say to someone who may be listening to this, who is perhaps maybe a survivor of cancer and they are struggling to kind of see what opportunities are perhaps open to them? Someone who's maybe inside they're feeling they would love to feel like they could use their hand in life for some kind of good, but they just don't know where to start. Would you have any kind of like wisdom to impart in that instance?
Yes. Yeah, sure. I guess, so what comes to mind for me is all of the women that I kind of idolize that turn a battle with cancer into something, a story, and then something that they can then generate income and also be able to give back and fund research to hopefully see the day when there is no more cancer. That's my ultimate goal, is to be able to say, this year I gave away $100,000 to this research, and it's making differences and it's saving lives, and that is my goal. Mm-hmm. And I've seen other people do this, and sometimes they're in their past life that they were a jazz instructor or they were, a Pilates instructor, and then they take this story and then they bring it into their business and they weave them together and do these really successful fundraising efforts. So I've seen a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And I think my tip is. I think of Marie Forleo's words that how does she say it? Only you have a gift. Everyone has a gift to give to the world, right?
Yeah, the world needs the gift that only you have. Isn't it something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
And
one.
no one can tell your story the way you can, right? So taking that unique experience and seeing any area that needs improvement, if you feel like the I don't know, your post-surgical sutures didn't function the way you hoped they were, well, let's research ways and to improve that. Or I think I'm always just looking around at systems that can be improved, at whether it's the case management system in the hospital, or it's building more camaraderie and support networks for women to reach out, or not, I say women, but it's women and men, anybody going through a tough battle, to be able to reach out and network with people who are in the same place as you. So, I think just,
that's
I went in circles around that answer.
No.
It
was lovely. It was really, really inspiring. Actually, I think it was a really poignant way of saying that you can create something from anything if you are open enough with your story and your kind of unique gifts, really. That you can literally create anything that you want and package it in a way that works for people that are going to relate to you and your story.
Right. Yeah. And now you have the privilege of being able to connect with somebody in a way that no one else can.
Yeah.
And, that is a gift that we can take away from this awful experience.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing, Marlena. Thank you so much. Let me just have an opportunity to thank you again, and let people know like where they can find you on like Instagram, Facebook, website, all those things. Share.
Thank you. So yes, the slogan, my mantra, still here, still sexy. So the website is www.stillherestillsexy.com, and on Instagram it's still here, still sexy, and hashtag still here, still sexy.
Amazing. So that's nice and consistent. There's no excuse for anybody to not find you now. Thank you so much, Marlena. You've just been an absolute trooper, and I know all this kind of experience is new to you, so it's just like, this is crazy, what am I doing? So I really, really appreciate you being vulnerable, being brave, being crazy brave, in fact, and helping more people doing this call. So everybody clap for Marlena.
Yeah. Scary Lions, thank you.
Oh, bless you. I hope you've enjoyed watching, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.